There we go.
Okay, now we're good.
Listen, technical difficulties, but we're gonna still push through.
That was crazy, but
But
we're
we
good.
made it work. We made it
Yeah.
work. And then I'm excited. I think everybody will start to join because they'll see it pop up, you know.
Okay. Okay, good.
All right, cool. Yeah, people are coming into the room. So, hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Kyle, the founder and CEO of Ethan Furman. I'm excited for this session, not only because we have the one and only Nikki here, but we get a chance to dig into the most important pieces of building a brand. That's your community. And Nikki and I have a good like pushing banter that goes back and forth. So I think this will be exciting for you guys to see. A little about Nikki. Nikki is a Houston-based content creator and a mom of two. She shares lifestyle-driven content that is focused on fashion, wellness, and travel. Her lens at 40 is so special because it feels like life lessons. Look at that. It's so good, right?
Oh, nice. Oh my
The
God.
content is intentional and created to better her audience. Through her journey, we get a chance to explore and pick up gems that can be applied directly to our daily lives. And through this discussion, I hope that you get a chance to gather tips and tools that will assist you in creating and cultivating a more engaging community on social. Now
That's
we got through that. Let's have some fun, right?
yeah.
Easy. Okay, so take me back. Let's talk about the moment that you said, I can do this full time. I'm going to be a content creator. When did that happen?
Okay, well, it's not some like super romantic story that I know like people really love, but to take it all the way back, I like you said, I have two kids, and I decided with my daughter, my second child, that I was going to stay at home with her for 3 months, and that became like super monotonous. Like I know people think that having a baby, like you're so busy, you are, but it was just the same thing every single day, and it got kind of boring. And I wanted to do something else. I wanted a creative outlet, and I started to see like other influencers like kind of start to emerge and get big. And I read an article about how much money they were making, honestly, and I was like, hold on. I
Yeah.
can do that. I can do that. If they're making that much money, I need to like go ahead and try. So I kind of started dabbling in it just a little bit, and then I ended up having to go back to work full time. So I went back to work full time, but at that time, I kind of really started to like. I got my first paid collab, which I think was for like $250.
Okay.
And it just things just started to really get busy for me. I got featured in that at the time Like to Know It LTK book, and I went to my first fashion week. And when I got back from that, I was like,
This is it.
that's it. I'm gonna have to do this full time. I'm gonna have to do this full time. I'm too busy. And the job that I had, they wouldn't let me take the time off. And so I was like, okay, well, then I'm gonna quit. So I put my 2 weeks in, and 2 weeks later, I was full time.
What do you think you fell in love with in that moment?
The freedom,
Yeah.
really. It was the freedom, like the freedom to be able to the freedom and the opportunities, the freedom to make my own schedule, create my own schedule, be available to my kids every day, be available for myself. And that I was getting all these cool opportunities to like travel and do things and go places.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
the freedom is number one because you get a
yeah.
chance not only freedom, but to dream, and anything
Yep,
that you create can become possible.
you're right.
Um,
Yep.
Family seem to be a really big piece of the puzzle. And internally, we talk about story and storytelling and how do we share it and what does it feel like and what does it look like? Tell me about your current cast of characters and kind of how they assist with creating your content.
So when you say cast of characters, you mean like my family, maybe my kids, I
Yeah.
guess you could say, and my mom. My mom is a new character on the show. My
Yeah.
mom is definitely a new character, and she's a good one. I really want to put her more, but recently, I mean, just full transparency, I'm in the throes of like getting a divorce. So when I first started, it was definitely like for people family content. And now it has evolved into three people, mostly me, but my kids here and there, my daughter who's 8, my son who you don't see a lot because he's 13 and a preteen and just is
Yeah.
not really interested in being in front of a camera because everything's embarrassing. And then my mom, like I said, as a new person, we work out several times a week together, and she's really been kind of into it. She's definitely a personality that needs to be on the gram, but yeah,
I'm pushing that because I
yeah,
think she should have her
yeah.
own, her energy is like next level. So I
It,
love
it really is. It
but
really is.
but I mean also Olivia kind of shines through. Come
She does.
on.
Yeah, and she loves it. She's got like a little, I don't want to say a little, let me not do that to her. She has a YouTube channel
Okay.
that she dances and she learns all the little dances, in 0.5 seconds and stuff. But she definitely is a personality also, and she loves it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's something about like that natural feeling. And a lot of people in the family, well, you tend to not have more than one or two people in the family who are comfortable on camera.
Yep.
You guys seem to, flow. It's something within that situation that
Well,
feels
I just keep it real. I mean, I don't stage, I don't perform,
yeah.
for the
Yeah.
camera. It just is what it is. Whatever they're wearing, whatever they look like that day, it just is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. That lends into so much too, because um, a lot of our first interactions were around how do we share more?
Yep.
What do we do next? I've been doing this for a period of time. How do we break out of it? And I love a pillar, a content pillar, a content category. I say that all the time. And for me, it keeps me in a box because you and I will dream at like 8 p.m. in the evening.
Mhm.
You'll text me, you're like, I know it's 10 p.m., but this just popped in my
And
brain.
I thought about, yep, always.
And I'm like, I love it. Let's go. And then we're up for hours just dreaming through it.
Yep.
But with that, I think primarily your content was fashion based.
It was to begin with.
Right, right. And a lot of that just because, the money is in, ready to wear. It makes sense,
Yeah.
especially when we talk about affiliate marketing and LTK, which was a big base of your business.
Yes.
Um, Fashion made sense.
Mhm.
But recently you shaking it up, your mom in the gym. There's more, well, matcha, I guess is not, is matcha wellness?
I mean, it can be. I think I was being gluttonous a little bit, but it can be wellness if you're doing it in moderation, but I was doing the most. So, yes and no.
I got to get on the matcha wave because I'm coffee all day, but
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna figure it out. But I think that you have expanded. And why did you choose to share more detail into your wellness journey? Why open up more?
Because it's the space that I'm in right now. I've had a lot of, and wellness is all encompassing. I know that sometimes when you talk about wellness and you see it on social, there's a
Mhm.
lot of like self-care aspects and going to the spa and like getting your hair done, getting your nails done, all this. But wellness to me is just, it's overall. And really, if you look up the definition of the word, it's really overall. It's mind, body, spirit, it's everything. So, given that I've had some health challenges and stress has been at like volume 100 for like the past, you know, year and a half or two, I knew it was important and it was a natural, organic flow of where my life is going. So, it was important to me that I share that and not, like I said, I don't like to perform on the gram, and it was important that I show that, at this space right now,
Mhm.
fashion content is not necessarily, it's still there, but it's not at the top of the list. Like my life is transitioning and it's evolving, which everybody's does, but everybody doesn't always show the evolution. And I think that's a lot of the gap that's missing with the realness and transparency on social media is the gap where you grow, you change, you learn.
Mhm.
Everybody shows the great parts, but nobody shows those in between parts.
I love that. And I think when deciding to share a new pillar or concept or version of yourself or piece of yourself, um, how do you adjust with leaning it into the audience? Is it like slowly sharing a bit on your story? Is it like I'm gonna showcase the fact that I'm at the gym 4 or 5 times a week? And also how has your audience connected with the change?
I think my audience has connected really well with the change, and that's because I've shown it from beginning to end, and I've been honest about it and really transparent about it from the beginning when I talk about, like, just struggling, like, just not feeling great, like, mentally and emotionally not feeling great or feeling heavy,
Yeah.
for a long time. I think that like sharing that, it's just so important, and connecting to your audience in that way, because in reality, everybody's going through something. Everybody can relate and take that with them for something. I don't like to overshare because I don't want to make it seem like I'm this like fitness guru or anything like that, which is why I show you what I show, because that's when I'm doing it. You know, I do it on those days, and those are the days that you see it. You know, I think you have to be careful to overshare, or like juicing the other day. I was showing, like, all of my content was about juicing. And I was like, I know this is a lot of juicing today, but this is what I'm doing today.
But like, to give you credit, yes, you shared the idea of juicing. Then
Yeah.
there was like, hey guys, what should I purchase? What's the best machine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then there was the machine.
Yes.
And then we saw like a refrigerator worth of juice.
I know. But that was real. Like, we really did. That was like the day. And I think it's important. I follow somebody, I don't know if I want to say her name or anything on here, but I follow somebody with like a huge following on social. And one of the things that I've taken from her is the way that she shares throughout the day, like in real time, with what she's actually doing, what's actually happened, even if she's not dressed, if her hair's a mess, if the day's not going good, if the kids have snot on their face. Like, it's just important to put what's really happening out there. You don't have to, nobody is obligated to put their entire life on social. There are parts of my life that you just won't see. You won't. But the gist of it, you know, the overarching point is there. You know?
Yeah, which I think is important too, because the fact, like, we do get on social media for a break.
Yeah.
You know, at least that's what I do it for. I'm scrolling all day. You know, we're sending DMs all day. So there's a piece of social, like, I can't deal with TikTok because the explore page is crazy.
I know, it's a lot.
I'm like, what is on my explore page? Like, I unfollowed that person on Instagram.
You don't really get to know anybody on TikTok. You're not getting
right.
a look into somebody's, like, I kind of watch stories, kind of like I watch TV. Like, I will literally, if somebody has stories up, I will let them play. Like, I really enjoy stories and like getting to know people and what they're doing via stories. I really like it. TikTok is a little bit different. To me, that's a different kind of platform. I feel like that's more like entertainment. You know what I mean? Like,
quick.
Yeah. You're not getting to know about someone on TikTok.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's not.
It's kind of weird, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned being vulnerable for the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. And I think you really have. Not so much, I mean, even your inner circle for sure, right? I think I've learned so much from you, like the strength that you have. I've experienced it. I've seen it. I'm like rooting for you in the background. Mm-hmm. But I think also on social, you've been sharing quite a bit.
Yeah.
Has your direct messaging, your community, the engagement changed since you've been sharing pieces of life that connect to the masses or connect to the everyday person?
100%. I get a lot of DMs where people are sharing parts of their life. Like, there's some people that I've really gotten to know them. They have told me about their personal life and what's going on with them. And it just shows you how much we're like really connected, and how much people are really the same, and how important that community and actually sharing is, how important it is to like share what you can, because people are really going through it. But yes, I've received lots of DMs, especially when I talk about something really specific. Like I said, I can't share everything. I would like to share more. Eventually I will. But yeah, I've seen lots more DMs, lots more conversations via DM. Yeah.
And I don't think it's only the hard stuff. Like, you share transparently every day. You know, it's from wellness to life decisions to the kids to, there was one moment where there was just a way that you corrected I think your son, just the process of, the Southern way of like, yes, ma'am, and it was amazing to see, because living in New York, I don't get a chance to experience the yes, ma'am, yes, sir world anymore. But it was really cool to see how you take care of your household.
It's like I said, having him on there, or just having my kids, can be challenging sometimes, but I try to show every part of my life as much as I can. Like, I'm first and foremost, I'm a mom, so I try to show that part. And then I'm always me, but I'm a mom, I'm a content creator. I have, Girl Scouts to go to. I've got basketball games to go to. I just planned a whole basketball outing for my son. Like, there's so many things in a day you wouldn't even believe. I don't even think I show all of it. I show a lot of it, but I don't show all of it. It's really a lot, and I feel like it would be overkill if I showed all of it. It would just be we would just have stories forever.
Yeah, yeah. And when we first met, it's funny that you say that you watch stories like a movie or like a TV show.
Yeah.
Because when we first met, you weren't on stories much.
I wasn't. I was kind of exhausted and I didn't know which way to go. I was at one of those places with Instagram where I really wasn't sure what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I posting? What am I saying? Like, am I being authentic? Am I being organic by showing this? And I think I had a moment of trying to decide what I really wanted to do. Like, do I want to dance and do voiceovers for reels because that's what's trending, or do I want to stay over here and continue to be myself? And I was trying to figure out like which one is going to work for me.
And I think you figured it out. I mean, yeah, 100%. And
Mhm.
to give you your flowers, like, you are a micro. Numbers say that you're a micro, but you have a big business. I mean, the business that you have is equivalent to someone who has 200K plus followers. I mean, it literally showcases your consistency, how vulnerable you are.
Yeah.
Every day you get up and work, and it's amazing. Do you feel like um, transparency or the vulnerability is what has attached, not only brand partners, but the community, which is a full circle?
I think that being me has what is what
Okay.
attached. Yeah, I think that fully being myself is what has attached to everybody because, as you know, what I show on Instagram and who I am on Instagram is
Yep.
literally exactly who I am
That's true.
outside of all of that. The things that I say, the things that I do, the habits that I have, all of that is literally just really who I am. There's
Yeah.
no deviation there. I'm not going to show up to a showroom or a brand meeting and be like, who is she?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that that's important. And I think that actually with a platform, like, I know it's not just about Instagram, but that's what I use mostly.
Mhm.
Um, and on a platform that is supposed to be about individuality and being yourself, a lot of times it's not. It's really not. So
And you meet people in person, you're like,
yeah,
are you gonna say hello? Do you know how to say your name? Yeah,
yeah.
it's a real thing. Yeah. So there's a piece of training your audience. And we've done a bit of that. We've done a bit of training. I think once you decided to start sharing your life on stories and check in, what's so cool about the way you do it is you have this day, and then there's like mid morning or late afternoon, you pop in.
Hmm.
I don't know if people are processing how you're doing it, but you pop in and it's intentional.
Yeah.
It's just so good, right?
Yep.
Um, but you pop in and you give them an update because there's a piece that they're missing. And I always tell everybody else who won't post on stories, and there's a different world with male influencers where they don't want to talk to the camera.
Hmm.
Um, they want it to all be like perfect and cinematic.
Yeah.
But I say we need a beginning, a middle, and an end. So even if you give us 3 frames, give me the story. Tell me what happened because I missed you.
You used to tell me that, like, I don't know, like a year or so ago, and you were like, they're missing the piece. They're missing it. Like, they're missing it. So I mean, clearly you're noticing. I mean, it's your job to notice what I do also.
Yeah.
Uh, but if anybody else is noticing, one thing I will not do, I cannot have my stories out of order. Like, I don't know if it's like the little piece of OCD in me that cannot, everything has to be in the order that it happened in the day. Like, literally nobody else knows when that happened. No
No.
one else knows. If I put something up from 3 days ago and did it today, you wouldn't know that I did that 3 days ago. But for me,
Mhm.
and I guess that's me just being like sticking to or being organic and being authentic, is that I have to have it up in the order and the way that it happened. So
But you make it feel good. Make it feel good because um, what was it? What did we do recently? It was during Christmas,
mhm.
and like it was McDonald's.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yep, I
And
do.
you were like, did they okay it without approval? And I was like, hold on. Shh.
Yeah, and
The
what
next
did I
10
say?
minutes, oh my God. It was like I felt like, how did you know to stop and get that drink before going to take your kids to the tree? That's what you
Right,
took to the tree farm. That's what
right, and we were really going there, that's what I mean, like, we were actually really going there. That was not a stage, that was not performative, that was not anything. We were really that's what we were doing in the day. That was the plan.
and we had that deal what a month before, month and
Yep.
a half.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so good, Nikki. Like it's perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. With you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
A few months back on stories,
Oh,
I think you may have been maybe frustrated or just wanting to let people know, hey, I need you to engage with this content.
yeah.
Like, I need y'all to wake up, start clicking the heart.
Mhm.
From that, did you see a significant growth in engagement? Did people did it feel good to release and share like, hey, I need you guys to help me with this?
Yeah, it does feel good to release that, but you also it's kind of hard with social because sometimes, um, at least for me, I feel like I'm constantly asking my audience to do something
Mm,
for me.
okay.
There's a constant ask. Like me, like my pictures here, follow me here, make sure you're engaged, make sure you make a comment, click this, do that. And I don't ever want it to feel like some obligation when you come here. I want it to be organic. And that's why I say, like, if you feel moved to comment, please do. Don't just look over it. But there's also an explanation of why it's important to do that. This is a Black Creator Summit. So, if you want to see your Black creators thrive, then you have to support.
Oh,
And
fact.
support is equivalent in that way to engagement, which
Yeah.
means that you have to like, comment, share, and save. You know, you've got to do that. You can't like see me out somewhere and be like, girl, I've been watching you, you're doing great. And I've never seen a comment or anything from you. And one of the advantages of being a micro influencer is that I literally can see everything. I really don't overlook anything. I answer every DM. I try to respond to every single comment. So, different from somebody who maybe has a million followers who may get, inundated with direct messages that they can't keep up with. I answer all of my, so I know when you're there. I know when you're commenting. I can see it and I can really engage
Yeah. Yeah.
with you.
And I think there's power in being a micro because you have the community at your fingertips.
Yep.
You know what they want, you know what they need. It's not 500,000 people asking different questions or giving you a different idea. Like we know what they're there for, what
Yep.
will convert them. Like we know what makes them smile and what they enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much power in being a micro, to be honest.
So much. Like I know, I usually know people by handle and not their real name. But, like I have one of my followers that lives in Ireland and she comments, she knows my whole family. She calls everybody by name. She comments on everything. She's always responding. She just had a baby. We talk about all this
Oh
stuff.
wow.
Like there's several people like that. Several. But yeah, that is one of the benefits of being a micro influencer. Yeah.
As a 40-year-old Black woman living in Texas, what are some of your obstacles that you've had in terms of opportunity with this business, if any? If you can say, "Oh, it's been good," then that's fine too.
I think at first starting out because I mean it is Texas and based on what the majority and masses here are liking, it doesn't look like me. Um, and so when there are certain events here and different things, the majority of people that get invited do not look like me. But I think that wasn't the issue at first. But I think that I have gotten my name out there enough, and I've quote unquote proved myself in this business that I don't really think it's an issue right now.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not it might not ever be an issue again or that it wasn't before, but at this very moment, I don't see it being an issue.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the space too, right? Like
Yeah,
what we're
exactly.
doing in that particular moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what you've done over the last year, we've
Uh,
really connected and been able to introduce you to tons of brands, to PR companies, to campaign agencies. I think there's a missing piece where we all think that the company is going to fall in our lap. And
mhm.
there is a piece of work that has to be done, quite a bit of work that has to be done in order to
Sure.
introduce.
Yep.
Um, and I think, and this isn't something we have planned, but the idea that people don't do things for free anymore. We sometimes you got to do something for free to build a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
It's the sharing on stories. It's the going to the event.
The tagging, it's the all of that. Yep.
And I don't think it's just a micro thing. It's a creator influencer thing in general.
It is, but I think the illusion is that when you have a certain amount of followers, you are being paid. Some of those people that have hundreds of thousand million, they're not getting paid for that stuff. They're just there, just like me. They're not getting paid either. Nobody's getting paid. We're all just there for the opportunity and the hope of eventually getting paid. But like you said, you got to put in the work first.
Yeah, got to put in the work, build the relationships.
Right.
Be in the right place at the right time. And then that connects me to collaboration.
Mhm.
I feel like collaboration has been a big part of your business, and we talked about collaboration at the beginning of the year as well. Do you feel like collaboration can increase visibility? Do you feel like collaboration provides you with opportunities that may not fall in your lap without you having to tag and go to the event and post because you then get access to another audience? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think collaboration is great. It does introduce you to another audience, but collaborating with the right people, you also have to do that because I could collaborate with someone whose audience sees what I have and they're like,
Yeah,
I'm not into this. So it doesn't really make any difference in my follower count or the engagement or the brand opportunities. So you definitely have to connect with, I don't want to say like minded,
but
but
that's it.
yeah, people
Mhm.
so that you guys can build off of each other. It's not a one-way street. You guys would be building off of each other.
And I think a lot about aesthetics as well, right?
Yes, that too. Yeah, absolutely. It's got to be somewhere in the that is like that's what I mean. That's what
Yeah,
not just like minded, but the aesthetics have got to be the same because where one brand might work with me, they may not work with somebody who's I don't know, got bright, who's a maximalist,
yeah,
totally a maximalist in their appearance and feed and all that. Yeah.
yeah. Do
Mhm.
you feel, and you've been minimal since I, became aware of you.
Yeah, it's more recent last few years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's your vibe. It works.
Yeah, it is.
I love the capsule collections. The whole thing
Yeah.
excites me, and it also adds to like that value based content,
Mhm.
which of course has become a buzzword now. But the fact is that on the back end of campaigns, because there's talking recession, because we've been through 2020, the conversation is who can convert, what makes the most sense. We're not just dumping money into creators when we won't see a return.
Right.
Um, how do you feel that your minimalistic aesthetic helps you?
How does it help me?
It doesn't help you at all. Do you feel like you're able to push through doors as a minimalist, whereas maybe people who are maximalist, what is it, maximalist?
I do, because it's a little bit more evergreen on the brand side,
Winner, yes,
you know? Um, when you're doing what's trending, what's good today, it may not be good next month or next year.
yeah, yeah.
So, yes, I do.
That was good. I love that. I love that, and I
Yeah.
think that's a way to share without saying too much. That was good.
Yeah, I know. I was holding back too. Yes.
Okay, so tell me this. We talked about like vulnerability and
Yeah.
consistency and you
Yeah.
being transparent and being authentic to your particular voice.
Uh-huh.
Over the last several years, how do you feel like you have refined your voice? Like, is it by sharing content? Is it sharing that small moment that only your close community will remember? Is it? This could be a hard one. I don't know. This.
It is.
I'm thinking this as I go because I think you're so good. This is what, and I'll tell you this: your content is like stellar. The eye that you have to shoot the content, because I don't think people know you shoot a lot of your own content.
I do. Most of it.
The eye you have. There are moments. Have you seen the fashion girl who's like walking across the street,
Mhm.
but it feels like a voyeur who's just like
Yeah.
seeing her from like
Right.
down the block.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nikki, you do it so well. Like you created that like essence of like who is she, but and I want to know more, but this is all I get for now until I give her to give the next series, you know?
Uh-huh.
But I think through the evolution of your content, you've really defined your voice and we know what we come to Nikki for.
Yeah.
Do you
That's
feel that way too?
I do. That's intentional. I feel like that's part of building an overall brand.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, to know why you're going. You walk into a certain store because you're going for a specific reason. And that's why I want my community to come back and keep coming back to me because they know exactly what they're going to get. It's going to be good. It's
Yeah.
going to be great. We're not going to disappoint. And yeah, yeah, they can trust it also. I talk about that all the time too via stories. I'm not going to post anything that I don't actually use. I stopped doing that a long time ago. I used to do it. If you'd caught me, 4, 5, 6 years ago,
Yeah.
but I stopped doing that because it just didn't feel good. It just didn't feel good. It did not feel honest to me. And I'm not going to put anything up that I'm not doing, that I don't believe in, that I don't use. You should know that too. You can come to me with the partnership and I will say, no,
All the time.
I'm not doing that.
You
I'm not
all
doing
the time you say no. And sometimes I'll find a way. I'm like, well, if we push it as a story and then we flip it as a but you still say, Kyle, that doesn't make sense for
I'm
me.
not doing it. It doesn't make sense for me. Yeah.
And I think I know the creators who are like, Kyle, this is a money grab, and
Yeah.
Kyle, I don't, I don't enjoy that. That's not genuine to my audience or to me, and I don't want to share.
Yeah. I like to work smart. I mean, yes, work hard, but I also it's important to me to work smart.
Yeah.
Very important.
And before we jump off, I love to, if you're open to sharing, I'd
Um,
love for you to give people insight into how you file your content or like organize your content because do you batch shoot?
no. Short
So
answer, no.
how could you give us just some insight? Because I'm sure this is the thing, and we'll go back to that. But I did not want to create this summit to talk to beginners. I
Yeah.
feel you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like go Google. I really want to talk about like the pivot, the moment when it was hard. Like I posted 3 reels, it didn't get any engagement. What do I do now? How do I make it fresh?
Mhm.
And I think that you found a way to keep an amazing thread of content that no matter what, they're able to hit like a piece that connects to their soul.
Right.
So if you could share, like you don't batch shoot, but then how do you plan it so well?
So I don't batch shoot in the way of I don't take I used to. I don't take 9 or 10 outfits, put it in the car, and then go shoot all of them.
Okay.
I don't do that any longer. Now, if it's a sponsored post or something like that, and I have to shoot before a month before it's due, then yes, that's when I make sure that that content is moved out of the way. It's already done. But when just shooting regular content or sometimes sponsored content like this, also, I just really feel like my mind is like it's a creative mind. And I have to feel really moved and really inspired to do something. And I know that for your sake, that is not the easiest brain and mind to work with. But if I don't feel moved or inspired, or this is really beautiful, if my mind can't see it in that one by one box,
Mm,
if it's just not looking right. If it's off, if my mood is off, then I can't. It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I have to feel inspired. I get inspiration from going to the museum. I'm always outside, going to like see stuff and look at stuff and get inspired that way. I do a lot of Pinterest looking. I look through Pinterest a whole lot. I still look at magazines also.
I love a magazine.
Yeah, and I think that part is kind of missing. I don't really like to look at things digitally. There's like something about actually looking through a magazine and seeing the ads and getting the inspiration there. So I do that. And there's lots of content creators that I really like, and I take inspiration from them, but I no longer batch shoot my content. I feel like that's overwhelming, and that the creative moment for me gets stopped when I have to stop, change an outfit, and find somewhere else
to shoot
it. I don't like doing that, so I don't do that anymore.
Okay. Easy.
I don't know if that works for anybody. It would work for anybody else, but it's just what works for me.
Well, okay. Let's say it doesn't work for other people. You know, I have that I have this like content planning template.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've shared you work in it sometimes, but you have your own game. So it's not, something that you need. Do you recommend templates for content planning?
I recommend it for people who have that, who are able to function like that, and that's what makes more sense to them. I recommend it. I recommend it for a beginner. Yeah, because you don't really know, or you may just need to have the batch content so that you can be posting every day, so that you're consistent, so that you can build your audience, and build your following. I would recommend it for them. Or if you're trying to get an aesthetic on your feed and you use like a Planoly or something like that to plan it out and look at it. I actually still use that too. I do look at it. Like I have, I don't know, what is it, like 650,000 images in my phone. And most of them I haven't even ever posted or used. And it's just because I just like looking at really good imagery. I don't know.
Yeah. It's the eye that you have.
Yeah.
It's the eye. I'm excited for 2023 and like beyond. Like I know that you have so many things in store that people haven't seen yet, they're not ready for. And I think you're continuing to shape what it means to be a creator, not just a content creator, but a creator in general, because there's so much more to you. Nikki, thank you so much for joining me.
Kyle.
That was quick, right?
I know, it was quick and easy, painless.
Yeah. Easy enough.
Could do this all.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, stay tuned for session 3. That one's going to be more of like a well-rounded process of like beginning to end, whereas session 1 and 2 were really focused on particular topics that I felt like could assist you with building your brands. And our goal is to continue to roll this machine, this summit into another large topic of ideas.
Yep.
And thank you again for tuning in. And Nikki, I really appreciate you. Thank you for the time.
Thanks, Kyle.
All right. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye.